give it up, y'all. Urban Kryptonite. Do a short Q&A with some of the cast members that came be with us today, and I want to introduce them and come up. We're going to do about a 30-minute Q&A. We don't want to go too far. We want you guys to patronize our vendors here tonight. So the first person, he's no stranger to Cleveland. He's been here, it seems like a million times, right? You guys met him on the Genetic Field of Black Planet tour with Dr. Ali Mohammed.
From Texas.
Did you? But that's the Minister of Health, our good brother, our good friend, Minister Inky Sangrael. This next sister, I just had a chance to meet her when we did the official screening in New York 2 weeks ago, and you've seen her in the film as well. She's a beautiful sister. She has a very powerful story and testimony. I think her story will help a lot of our people. Y'all give it up for Sister Keisha Harris. And then we have a young lady who's kind of like myself, working behind the scenes. She was very key into getting a lot of things set up as far as radio and things. And then she kind of played the backseat role, but I told her she's got to come out tonight so people can meet her. And that's our good friend, Dr. Sandy. And then the brother you guys met earlier, the creator of Urban Kryptonite, the book, the executive producer, the director, Brother Cochise Tarak. I'm going to open up with a few questions myself, and then if you want to ask questions, we ask that you line up over here, and we'll bring you the mic, and we'll get your questions, so don't be shy. Go ahead.
Really quick. What you just saw was the director's cut. The full thing is 4 hours. You just saw 2 hours of it, because if I show 4 hours, you're being asleep. So we need to do 2 hours, okay? So all of you guys look, we don't have Hollywood, any of that behind us. So everybody, you on Twitter, you doing the memes and all that stuff, people dancing. Make sure you hit pound Urban Kryptonite, because we got to do it ourselves to get this information out here. Urban Kryptonite on Facebook, and also check us out on Facebook, Urban Kryptonite Films. Also, the pre-order to the DVD, Urban Kryptonite Films, we're offering that for $24.99. The regular price is $29, so after September 15th, that's when it'll be available to the public. So if you order now at Urban Kryptonite Films, you pay $24, and we ship it out to you between September 15th and October 1st, so you can save $5. So make sure you help us get it out on social media, pound Urban Kryptonite. This is all grassroots. That's all we have. So you go ahead, brother, ask a question.
Y'all want to sit down? Or y'all want to stand up? Y'all can
sit down for 2 hours.
All right. My first question is to Brother Cochise. What made you sit down and write this book? As we seen in the beginning of the film, you were a professional basketball player making a good life for yourself. What made you say, you know what, I want to write this book, I want this information to be disseminated to our people? Because you could have kept doing what you was doing, but what tugged at your heart and soul and made you write the book, which became a film?
I think the first thing is just traveling all those countries, 40, 45 countries, and seeing our people living differently than the so-called black person here in the United States. Without the money, as I mentioned before, they were kind of living from the land and consistently living, especially in places like Costa Rica where there's a lot of blue zones. That means that they boast the most centenarians in the world. Them, Sardinia, Italy, and Okinawa, Japan. And these people didn't have the money. They were living to be 95, 100 years old routinely. And Brother Insight can attest to that. And also, I lost a lot of people in my family early just due to health things. So I wanted to bring something back that you could glean and not just rely on these documentaries from people that don't look like you, that give you generic information. Because no matter what anybody tells you, you are different. We're the same in that we're human, but you are a different individual. Otherwise, they wouldn't burn up when they're in the sun all day as opposed to you. All right.
The next question is for Minister Inky Sangrael. When you look at this film, why do you think this film is necessary, and what makes this film coming out at this particular time so important?
Well, right now, with the timing, I would say, due to us being people of the sun and the sun being in the solar maximum, it's important right now for us to use this window of opportunity to regain our health. All across the world, We lead in every form of cancer except for skin cancer. Of course, you know, white folks got that locked down. But, you know, it's a global phenomenon that we're dealing with. It's not something that we're dealing with strictly here in America. You look at the Mandelas, you know, Winnie Mandela's dealing with type 2 diabetes, tearing up real bad. You know, so it's across the board. Wherever you see brown and black people, we have been directly poisoned, all right, directly poisoned by our colonizers. So it's time for us to deal with that issue. Your body is your only piece of real estate that you will own forever until you leave here. All right, so make sure you take care of that.
Sister Keisha, for those that don't know you, you have a very powerful story. You touched on it a little bit in the film. I don't know if you guys can read some of the captions that our editor and director, Saladin, did on there. But let the people know, what you talked about in the film, your mindset, how you wouldn't let the diagnosis by your 22 doctors and the 80-some pills they had you taking a day, you didn't let that affect the outcome because they said, you know, you will never be here and you're here standing. What gave you the focus to be able to look past this outcome that they were giving you and you changed it yourself? What was the motivation behind that?
My main motivation was myself. I literally felt alive. I did not feel like dying. I don't know what dying feels like, but when I think about what dying feels like, I should be laying in the bed, I can't move, I should feel dead. And the day that he said, you have 2 weeks to live, I was jogging yesterday. I mean, what do you mean I have 2 weeks to live? And if I have 2 weeks to live, I gotta get out of this bed right now because I got a lot of living to do in 14 days. And so I didn't accept it. I didn't accept it the instant he told me. There were 3 nurses in the room. I was at a teaching hospital. There was a doctor, the head doctor and his team, my parents. Everybody in the room was crying. Everyone in the room except me and the doctor. And when the doctors left, my parents said, why aren't you crying? Did you not understand? And I said, yeah, I understand. I went to school to be a nurse. I completely understand. But he's not talking to me. And I told him that if he wasn't on my mentality, if he wasn't willing to fight as hard as I was willing to fight, that I needed another doctor. And so every single day, when they speak in the film about how you have to remove people and things out of your life that are not positive, that's exactly what I did, to include my parents. If you call me sick one more time, you're going to be on the list that you can't come see me. Because I'm not sick, I'm recovering. And I still use that word. And your mentality is very important. So if you have any questions after this, I'll be glad to talk with you on an individual basis.
Like I stated earlier, Sister Sandy, Dr. Sandy, was not in the film, but she has a really powerful story herself. I'm not going to tell you guys about it. I would like for her to share some of her story as well, because it's just as inspirational as Sister Keisha Harris' story. So I'll yield the floor to Sister Sandy.
Yes, thank you. 8 years ago, I was morbidly obese. I was size 30, and I had diabetes, and I went to a naturopathic doctor, and he told me that he could get me down to a size 2, and I just could not believe it. And so the first day on his detox, I lost 8 pounds. The first 3 months, I went down from a size 30 to a 16. I lost 67 pounds. And within 8 months, I went from a 30 to a 0. And, people don't really understand why, but it's the herbs. It's a change of mind. It's a change of diet. And you have to have the willpower to say, you're never going to eat these foods again. He put me on a foods to avoid list. And I had a last supper, if you will, that week before. I ate everything, all the cheeseburgers, everything I wanted to eat. And then the moment I took the herbs, I stopped. I said, I'm going to do it this way. And so after I lost the weight, I asked my doctor, how could I help other people? And he wouldn't tell me, so I went to school to become a naturopath, and that's how I became a naturopath to help other people.
I want to open up to the floor, but I don't want to ask all the questions. I know y'all got some questions. Y'all just watched this powerful documentary. So, anybody got a question? We'll take some. Sister right here.
I have a comment. Naturopath is what is that what you said, naturopath?
Yes, ma'am.
I've been on a path of, baby steps, changing my diet, exercising more, and there's some things that I don't know where to look. I don't know what the prescription, the natural prescription is. So I've been trying, different recipes, different, cookbooks, every resource that I know of. But I don't have a resource. So where do you go for these natural resources?
Well, one of the things that we're going to city to do is set up a support system for everybody that is in the city that we're here. And so I'll be glad to talk to you after, but you have to have a mindset and you have to say to yourself, I'm going to do this, I'm not going to fail, I'm not going to be around people who eat the way I used to eat. And you have to tell yourself every day that you're going to do this. Now, my motivating factor was that the herbs that I took, the first day I lost weight. And so the first day I lost weight, I lost 8 pounds, I would run to the scale every day. I don't know any other protocol that you run to the scale and you lose immediately. And so D Health Store, I recommend all of his products to my clients. We turned around 4th stage cancer for an NYPD officer last year. And so, you have to know the herb, you have to have a naturopath that will stand with you. And so, we'll speak after, but you have to have a support system to help you.
Other questions? Cleveland is quiet tonight. I'm just okay. Right behind you. Right behind you. Oh,
the herbs that you had, like what type of herbs did you add for your weight loss?
What herbs did you use for your weight loss?
Well, they're customized. A naturopath, a seasoned naturopath will do a protocol, and you're like, I love to do iridology sessions on people. I can look into your eyes and tell you what is out of balance and what to do. So, I'm telling you, these herbs work because he puts together a system where your weight is going to come off immediately. And you're going to be encouraged to continue the protocol, and you're going to be encouraged to eat the right foods. Like they said in the film, you can't take a herb and then still eat eat crazy. And so your diet comes into play, your willpower comes into play, and getting the right herbs and having a support system. People, if you aim to be something, you hang around the people that are where you want to be. So if you want to eventually become raw, or you eventually want to become a vegan, you might not be there today, but hang around them. They always say if you go to a barbershop, you're going to eventually get your hair cut. And so be around the people that you want to be around. If you want to be slim, be around slim people and find out the healthy slim people what they eat. And just, we went into groups. I had a group of people that we would, eat on Monday, cheeseburger, and then we would fail, and then we would fall off. But get into the mindset and be around the people that you want to be healthy with. That's the main thing, I would say.
The sister right here, laying right down here. Had her hand.
Y'all ain't gonna run me around.
Late night workout.
Okay, I have a question for the young man with the glasses, right? You, on the film, you talked about the autoimmune diseases. And my mother has had several of the autoimmune diseases, like one behind the other. And right now, I think she has fibrosis, and it's affected her lungs. So now the doctors put her on oxygen 24 hours a day. And hard for her to take a few steps. But yet, when I would go to the grocery store for her, she wants Greek yogurt, she wants ice cream, and then she gets upset because I won't purchase it for her. And I'm trying to explain to her that it's not good for her. So besides her changing her diet completely, I was wondering what else can I do to help reverse that, because she's like 71 and they're telling her she's going to be on oxygen 24 hours a day for the rest of her life.
Well, here's one of the things. You're going to have to love your mom enough to make her suffer a little bit. And what I mean by that is no yogurt, no ice cream, and that's just going to have to be the way it is. Like, when I was little, I would take my mom's cigarettes and throw them out. And she'd be like, boy, I'm getting ready to whoop your ass up. That's fine, because that's only going to last 15 minutes. I'm going to need you to be around for the rest of my life. So you got to jump in front of the bullet and don't worry about the tongue lashing or whatever she going to say, or she probably going to put you through the guilt trip. It's the white blood cells in her body that's creating the autoimmune diseases. So when she's craving those things, what she doesn't even understand is that they're craving those things and she's looking to feed them. The sugar is to feed them. The yogurt is a source of rotten milk to feed them. A lot of the things that we're dealing with, especially, and this is one of the reasons why I outlined a 12-point crisis that we have to understand with the differences between the African physiology and the European physiology, and I have them here, so that we can understand how our bodies are being affected by these differences in the things that we're eating. When you look at like cows, for instance, a cow has a system, it's called a ruminant animal. They have a system where they ferment everything before they eat it. So they can't even process fruits and vegetables until it's rotten. So when people talk about getting nutrition from eating beef, it's crazy because they have to eat things that's rotten. A lot of these other groups, they eat things that are rotten, like mushrooms. A lot of people are big on this mushroom deal. Mushrooms live off of methane gas. They like things that are rotten. It's the same way flies are attracted to shit. They're attracted to methane gas and they're attracted to nitrogen and ammonia. So we have to, you just have to force her to suffer for the short-term period, because it's only going to take 28 days for her insides to start changing and her to create new bacteria for a new sort of diet. And then let her live for the long term as opposed to pleasing her in the short term just because she's old, she's sick. It's like, oh, well, she may not live that long anyway. Go ahead and give her some ice cream. No. Our average lifespan should be about 140 years. If we go by the science that governs all mammals on the planet, they average lifespan is 7 times the amount of time it takes them to reach physical maturation. All right, so we do that around 20. So we should be at least 140 years on average. So 60, she's dying like a baby. 70, she's dying like a baby. So the herbs we have here on deck, I have a liquid system that I deal with that affects the body at the plasma level, because that's where all regeneration starts. And I'm gonna end it on this. Minister, I try not to go into a Bible thing, but even in the Bible, Jesus said, build your temple on Peter so the gates of hell would not prevail against it. So what that meant was, and this is why people kind of can't really glean the information from the Bible, because they don't see the science in it. Peter is the rock, that's mineral. Your temple is your body. You build your temple on minerals. The gates of hell, that's burning. That burning, that hell is sickness, that's inflammation. All cancer and autoimmune disease start there, right? So when we build the body on mineral, we allow the plasma to be able to rebuild the cells, which rebuilds the tissues, the glands, etc. I had a sister, and she's mad with me right now. I got to get down to Miami. Almost 18 months ago, the doctors gave her 2 months to live. She had cancer in her lungs and in her bones. All right? That was almost 18 months ago. She had already completed the whole course of chemo. All right? Because what a lot of us don't understand is we're all dealing with chemo right now. We're all being irradiated like cancer patients. We're all being full of fluorine. Fluorine is something that increases your body's decomposition. So I'm going to talk about this in Chicago. All right. I'm wrapping it up. But I have also the diagnostic machine, which is important for us to get in front of these things that's going on in our body, because we like to act like stuff is not happening until it's too late. All right, so we can get that done, get a complete, every cell, every tissue, every organ, every bone in your body, every system tonight, so that way you can start to see and get in front of these things before it becomes a situation. So don't give her anything, and yes, you have to change the diet. There's no other way to get around it. You're going to have to change the diet, snatch them goodies from her, get her off the bacteria, the rotten milk, and all that kind of stuff, and work from there.
But they do make ice cream.
Vegan.
They do make vegan ice cream. They do.
Yeah, coconut milk.
You
They sell it in Whole Foods.
Yeah, just do a little bit of homework for her. You don't necessarily have to tell her. I trick my mom to this day. You know, Mom, I got some ice cream for you. I put some fruit on it, and she's like, "Oh, it's good." And then she found out it's vegan, and she don't want it no more. But now she already hooked.
Go ahead. She's next, right next to you. She's next.
I just wanted to thank you all. My life literally just got changed. And I'm not kidding. Whatever it took for you to get this filming, to write that book, it was worth it. Oh my God. I have fibroids in my uterus, and I literally look pregnant. I've never had any children. I'm 34 years old, and I have argued with doctors who have told me you should have a hysterectomy. You won't be able to have children. If you have any children, they'll die. And I don't feel like that. I identified directly with what you were saying. You didn't feel dead. I don't feel barren. I don't feel like any children that I bear will die. I feel like I'm healed, and I just haven't known how to do it until today. And I thank you all so much.
I used to have fibroid tumors when I carried my daughter. She's 14 now, but I had 5 fibroid tumors in my stomach the same time I was pregnant, and they were the size of grapefruits. And so when I had a C-section, they didn't even take the fibroids out. They left them in there because they wanted to get another operation. You understand that there's a system in place for money, and there's a kickback for every prescription that is written. And so what I did was I went to Tahuti, and I got the fibroid tumors. They started to shrink from the herbs, and I passed them. And so we also have to remember that whenever they give us disease, it's not the disease, it's the organ that is imbalanced. And so when you think about diabetes, it's not diabetes, it's the pancreas that's out of balance. And so you're gonna come see us, but listen, everything is reversible. You don't have to walk with anything, okay?
Just to consolidate what Sandy is saying, the main reason that I did this film is a lot of misinformation out there. We're really miseducated. I'll give you a prime example. Let's take cholesterol, okay? A lot of people tell you that cholesterol is bad, and doctors will tell you that. But if you look at the Inuit people, aka Eskimos, they are notorious for having high cholesterol scores. They eat whale meat, whale blubber, seal blubber, bear meat, bear fat, and they have about 350 on the score of high cholesterol, quote unquote high cholesterol. Now there's not one Eskimo up there that's got a Montel Williams juicer, eats organically grown broccoli, but they live longer than you do here. So cholesterol has nothing to do, it's a waxy substance that the body needs. It has nothing to do, it doesn't cause disease. No high cholesterol causes disease. What cholesterol is like a, it's more like, does a fever cause pneumonia? Does a fever cause pneumonia? No, it doesn't. It's a warning signal. That's what it is. So when you have high cholesterol, what a doctor will do, they'll go and they'll lower the cholesterol with Zocor and Lipitor. They lower it, but they don't fix the systemic problem. So it looks like you're getting better, but you're not getting better. Instead of telling you eat fruits and vegetables and clean your arteries to get rid of it, they just fix the inflammation in the artery. So understand that this is the problem. Yeah, they basically fixing the side effects. So I want you guys to understand that there's a lot of miseducation. That's why we're doing it. That's why we have these people here. again, I'm nobody, I'm just a guy from Detroit, but in being nothing, I can be everything, so, all right.
All right. All right.
And just briefly, we got to get sunlight. That's one of the, that sets the stage for fibroids to pop up. All right. Vitamin D regulates, and what he said it just sparked that in my mind, because vitamin D is created by turning cholesterol into the active form of vitamin D that circulates through the body. This is why black people naturally have high levels of cholesterol in the body in the first place, because it's sitting there waiting for us to get the sunlight to turn into vitamin D. Vitamin D regulates gene expression. So once we move away from the equator, and the test has already been done, every single incidence of cancer and tumor formation in any type of people, not just black folks, white to black, all the way across the board, from type 1 melanation to type 6. As you move away, excluding skin cancer, as you move away from the equator, the incidences of cancer goes up. All right? So we have to have that sunlight. Then you're dealing with a situation of what you eat and things like that comes into play. So soy, all right? Any type of soy estrogen products you have to get rid of. Any type of makeups, skin lotion, spray in your house, you have to get rid of all of those synthetic products, because they all become estrogen in your body, and it's estrogen that actually feeds the fibroids and grows them. Estrogen doesn't create the fibroid, but once you have it, the little guy, it starts as a little cyst, it's estrogen that feeds it. Chicken, fish, beef, all of those things are fed estrogen so that they can grow big and fat and fast. And when you put it in your body, it overwhelms your body as a woman to produce the very tiny, small amounts of testosterone that keeps your ovaries healthy. Because on each side, you have a little bit of testosterone production to keep it nice and alkaline. Testosterone is the alkalizing hormone along with insulin. So these are the things that we have to know and avoid. Then there's certain fruits that are healthy for normal people, like apples, cherries, that you also have to avoid. Flaxseed. Flaxseed is a big danger zone as we start to get into the health movement, because people pushes you towards that. Oh, you need some flaxseed. Oh, you need some soy this. Oh, try this soy lecithin. And da-da-da-da-da-da. You have to get off of those things. I see your hair is natural, so I won't deal with that. But perms, dairy products, all of those things in specific, we have to avoid, because even when we go in and have the fibroids removed, they come right back, because the situation that created them in the first place is still in place, and that's your living, the lifestyle.
Just want to tell her that I had fibroids with both my kids. When I had my last one, I had one at 25 and I had one at 40. At 40, they thought it was just, I wasn't, nothing was going to, my fibroids actually shrunk till they couldn't find them when I had the baby. So you could have, you'll be able to have a child. I just wanted to tell you that. But tomorrow I'm supposed to have a MRI, because they think that I have a sciatica. I got real painful from my, you know what it is. And so when I first went to the doctor, he gave me an x-ray and he said, it wasn't my bones, I think it might be your muscles. And then he gave me this prescription for a muscle relaxer and then something called Zovalex. So I go to the drugstore and they don't even have it. None of the stores have it. So I get it anyway, and then I read it. It's got all these death, syndrome, skin disease. And so I called him up and he had told me, take this for 10 days and then, then we'll see what, we'll do after that. I called in 3 days. I said, first of all, I'm not taking that medicine. Why would you prescribe me something that nobody, it just got put on the market in April.
I'll tell you why.
Am I going to be your test? I'm not going to be your test. That's what I told
You're
him.
not a test. You're not a test. You're not a test. He didn't prescribe that to you because you were a test. The product, if he prescribed it, has already been tested. He is prescribing it, and it's probably a new product because he is getting a major kickback. You're going to put his child through college on that pill. I took 78 pills in a day.
Wow.
of 78 pills a day for months. And so when I started doing my homework, why am I on all these pills? What is all of this? Am I really this sick? I know you said I was going to die. That's what made me start taking them. Oh, he said I got 2 weeks to live. Two people who have 2 weeks to live should probably be taking 78 pills. But when I actually asked him, well, what is this for? Well, what is this for? Well, what is this for? Turns out my body needed 12 pills. The other pills were for the side effects of the 12 pills. So you need to take this pill 3 times a day, and this pill 3 times a day, and this pill 3 times a day, and this pill 3 times a day. But these pills cause high blood pressure, heart palpitations, kidney problems, shortness of breath, nausea and vomiting, dizziness. So take all of these pills for those. And then hopefully come back and see me if you got any more problems, because I got a pill for that too. And that's how, so when I say, you know what, I'm not taking none of this. He was like, you know what, you need a psych evaluation. You crazy if you ain't gonna take these pills. But now, what can he say? I walk into his office every 3 months just to dance a jig in his face. You know?
We got this brother right here, and we're going to take one last question after him.
Hotel, everybody.
Peace.
Thank you.
Before you go in, Big Rock, I want to say this about the medication. We have to make our choices daily, and we have to live with them. I'm not saying throw away your medication, but what I am saying is the scientists are getting extremely arrogant in what they're willing to do and prescribe to you. And they're beginning to get extremely overconfident in your lack of education. So now they're telling you, don't combine this medication with grapefruit or it can kill you. Get rid of the grapefruit. Don't combine this medication with kale. It can kill you. Get rid of the kale. Don't combine this medication with cruciferous vegetables. It can kill you. Get rid of your cabbage. So we have to make these choices daily. Most of these medications are heavily laden with fluorine. I have to get that out there. I want y'all to really get that into your conscious. Fluoride is just a type of fluorine. Fluorine does nothing but decompose things and break them down. The moment you put fluorine into your body in any way, shape, or form, including fluoride, it starts to break down the cells and the tissues of your body. The second thing that happens is methane starts to be released. That attracts more parasites and bacteria, more flies, more bugs, because they smell rotting flesh from the inside out. That's why your number 2 smells so bad in the bathroom. Okay? So we want to get in front of these things. Like I said, it's important to know what's going on in the body. All right? Normally we do $50 for the diagnostics. Today, for the screening of the film and for the duration of the screenings, it's half price and it takes 3 minutes. Very non-invasive.
Okay. First, I would like to thank you all for doing such a wonderful job at bringing the knowledge to us, and especially all the scholars on the video. And my family, we've been following the scholars, not just following, but doing everything that the scholars have been telling us to do as far as health. And we have 6 beautiful children. They never had any cooked food or anything like that. They're all raw. Now, and the guy that's here was saying, to overcome some of these things, you have to get in the right environment.
Yep.
Well, you know, we've been polishing so hard. Now we're in the wrong environment. It's hard for us to find another family out here that's doing the exact same thing as us. Like, we get invited to restaurants. We're the only ones that bring our own food to the restaurants because we still want to, you know, communicate with our family and go to functions. So I was wondering if, you know, we don't travel a lot, but if you all have seen any other families or any other organizations around the world that's on that same level, and if so, how can we connect with them?
I would say that this is your family. If you're eating raw, she needs to eat raw. She needs to become the guru. You teach them. You teach everyone here. You be the support system. Everyone here that wants to become raw, get his number, and he will show you the way to go. That's
She's absolutely right. Minister Inky will tell you, I used to be 350 pounds. I'm like 240 now. And you have to be that example for your family. My family now is eating things that they never thought they would eat just because I'm bringing it. They invite me over, they know what I'm bringing. My wife, we're bringing kale salad, we're bringing the raw mango cheesecakes, you know, and they taste like, man, this stuff tastes good. So just continue to be that example. Minister Inky, myself, Dr. Ali Muhammad, we created the 40-Day Fruit Fast family. If you're on social media, on Facebook, we got almost 2,000 people. It is crazy. And it's online, but it feels like a true family. People are calling each other, inboxing each other, checking on each other, making sure everybody's all right. And then we come together, like in Columbus, we finished the 40-Day Fruit Fast last Saturday. We had a potluck. It was like 20 of us that came. Everybody brought a raw dish. We ate and talked for 6-7 hours, and it felt like it was 2 hours. That's how loving and inviting an environment is. So you be that for Cleveland. And like the sister said, y'all get with this brother.
Yes.
All right. One last question. We got one last question.
Go ahead, you're going to have to holler that one because I ain't going.
Brother Tim, come on, Brother Tim.
I just want to say again, thank all y'all for coming down. I seen some of you all, start off on your journey. And I just want to say it's a blessing with this film that you all brought here to the city of Cleveland because, like, a couple people said here, a lot of us are not, enlightened to have those outlets. So we just want to say thank you.
We want to thank y'all for coming out.
We got a question.
I reiterate what he's just said about you bringing this to light. But the question I wanted to ask was, if you have a doctor, what would be the question you want to ask them if they wanted to take some tests, blood tests, or whatever else that is possible, since none of us have machines at our homes that would do certain things? If we were to contact our medical doctor and wanted certain information, what information will we need to get?
I would say not to throw away your family doctor or the doctor you've been dealing with. Depending on what he's suggesting in terms of invasiveness, what level of invasiveness he's ready to go to for the test. If it's your routine test, fine, get the test done, and then you have, like, I get people to bring me their tests. I want to see what the blood work looks like. I want to see what's there. Then I compare notes with what I have, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not necessarily the diagnostic system that's the problem. It's what he's getting ready to suggest you afterwards is where a problem comes in afterwards in terms of surgeries, medications, and then his motivation behind suggesting that. I have a family member that's a doctor, and I just learned so much from just listening to him in terms of the motivation, the bonuses. If they say out, they have sales meetings. They have sales meetings. Like, look, everybody's getting X amount of bonus for prescribing this. So it doesn't matter what you come in with. It don't matter what those tests say. If you got a broken ankle, Vanoxidil. You got a broken shoulder, Vanoxidil. You got a headache, Vanoxidil. And it looks very organized, and it looks like everything's going the right way because they're going to sit you down, you're going to wait, you're going to take your test, they're going to go, they're going to read through it, where they already have a preconceived idea about what they're getting ready to hit you with. And then, as Keisha already said, they don't have any problem with giving you something new because they'll give you 10, 15 other things to deal with the side effects from the bonus round. So definitely go ahead and get your diagnostic done. If it's not too invasive, then you got to make some judgment calls, but then you have options. You might want to go the holistic route with how to fix any problems that pop up.
Just quickly wanted to have Minister Inky address the whole idea of carbon-based foods versus nitrogen-based foods, because I know you were saying things like broccoli are not good for us, and then you got the beans and legumes that also have a nitrogen base. So if you could hit us with that.
Let her interject what she's going to say to the question.
Okay.
As a patient, what I did was the doctor says, okay, well, we want to get a CAT scan. Okay. What's the CAT scan for? He says, well, we want to check and see if there's any cancer cells left in your body. Okay, but I thought that was a PET scan. Well, we can also find it from a CAT scan. Okay, well, what is going to be within normal limits of what you're looking for? Tell me, what result are you looking for? What's high? What's low? What's normal? Now he's like, what, you trying to be a doctor? No, I'm trying to learn about my own body. And then he says, well, okay, if we can't see anything in this, we're going to do this. We'll do this blood test. We'll do this. Okay, we're going to do a Kim 7 blood test. What's a Kim 7? And he's going to tell you, you come in there, he tells you, when you go to your doctor, he says what? Bring all your meds. Dude, you prescribe them. Why am I bringing all my meds? Okay? It's because he has 400 patients. He doesn't read his chart that he wrote. He doesn't read it. When you come in, he's going to say, okay, what do you want? What are you taking? Well, read the paper. You know, I'm doing what you told me to do. So that was what sparked me to say, let me do my own homework, because he don't remember, and he was seeing me once a week. I'm a frequent flyer in this joint. You ask me the same questions. So what I would tell you is educate yourself. Go in there with a notebook. Let your doctor know that you're serious. Okay, doc, you said I got diabetes and you want to put me on what? Okay, what kind of medicine is that? What's the difference in the dose? What's the lowest dose I can take? What is this going to do to me? What's the side effects? The pharmacy gives you a piece of paper that you probably don't read that tells you that information. But if you ask your doctor and he says, well, the side effects are, one of my friends is on asthma medication. He's going to have asthma all his life, just like Tahuti, okay? One of his side effects is asthma-related death. So I have asthma. You prescribe a medication for me to put in my mouth for asthma, and one of the side effects is asthma-related death? Because they don't mean it's going to kill you. 90% of people don't die off of it. But somebody's allergic to it. Somebody's body is going to reject it because it's synthetic. So when you do your homework and he says, yeah, you know what, you have diabetes and you're going to take this, and you say, okay, well, what's the side effect of it, and it's something that you don't agree with, you say, is there something else that I can take? Now, he's not going to tell you, go to Whole Foods and get yourself a couple of mangoes. He's not going to say that, ever, because that ain't going to cash his check. And he is at work. You have to remember, your doctor is at work. He is not your mom, your dad, your cousin, your brother. Or your friend.
That's right.
If you got a doctor that's a friend, see if your insurance can get you in. For you over here, your mom, who's over the age of 65, you qualify for Medicare. Medicare will cover a nutritionist. Take your mom to a nutritionist because she will try to get her straight. And recommend coconut milk. You got to have that milk flavor in your mouth. You got to have that hemp milk, hemp chocolate milk. It's available to you. You just haven't educated yourself on where to get it. Or you instantly say, oh, I don't eat that. Oh, vegan, I don't eat that. But
Don't even tell them it's vegan.
Exactly. If she's been eating the wrong things for 60 years, it may be hard for her to switch. But I took my dad, I started off with the vegan junk food. Okay, like he's saying, some people eat vegan and still don't eat well. Start that way, because then you've changed your mindset to be vegan, and then you can come off that vegan junk food and get to the real food that's going to help you.
There you go.
But I started my dad off on vegan cupcakes. And I put it in his face, and he was like, oh, a cupcake. Oh, it tastes a little bit funny, but he ate it all. You know? And when it was done, I was like, how'd you like it? Great, because it was good for you. And he was like, oh, it ain't as hard as I thought it was going to be. So, good luck to all of y'all.
Minister Iggy, you have 2 minutes. Carbon-based foods versus nitrogen-based foods. Go.
No, what I'll say is this, because I got the DVDs that go much deeper into the differences in our physiology, that will cover it in a lot of detail. That's what we need. You cannot be healthy, all right? To be honest, you cannot just grab herbs and go, okay? You cannot just think you're going to incorporate watermelons and then you're following the new thing every 5 minutes. Oh, they said acai berries, boom, we on that. Oh, they said this is the new chlorella, oh, we on that. Like, it doesn't work like that. It's the information that you need. When you saw the film, you saw Jehudi say that they said that his lungs would never be cured. It was the information that cured his lungs, not the herbs, because the information is how he knew how to put together the mullein with the cayenne and the fenugreek. So it's the information. So we look at nitrogen. When you eat the nitrogen-based foods, that forms ammonia in your body. There are only 2 living species on this planet that have a natural ammonia transport system. All right, so if you're taking notes, write down ammonia transport system. That is the rhesus monkey, and that is yeast. Okay, so now that we have groups of people on this planet that have Rh positive blood type, rhesus monkey positive blood types. Okay, and yes, black folks have it because we're mixed with Europeans. All right, so it's not about, getting spooky about it. We got to deal with it. All right, you have to know your physiology to eat the things that's good for you. We are not fungus-based creatures, so we should not eat anything fermented. We should not eat any types of mushrooms, all right? People are talking about black mushrooms and John mushrooms. Those mushrooms are fooling people because they're black. They're like, oh, they got pigment, it's melanin. Those mushrooms use chemosynthesis to produce energy to live off of. That means they use methane gas to create energy to sustain them. That's why they only grow in shit or on dead plants, okay? Because dead things release methane. That is one of the things that flies are attracted to, all right? When you see flies hang around little food you drop on the floor and all that kind of stuff, that's what it is. They're attracted to nitrogen and ammonia in the urine, and they're attracted to methane coming out of the feces, all right? And methane is the thing that's opening up the hole in the ozone layer. Your ozone layer, they call it an ionosphere, all right? Because it's filled with ions. It's very electrically dense. So the same way as your body's supposed to be. So the same way that methane tears a hole in that ionosphere, it tears a hole in your ionosphere. So you're not supposed to eat any of those things. I can feel y'all on my shoulder. We said minute and a half. All right? But we cannot live like we are everybody else. We are not everybody else. We have the best genetics on the planet, and we have been targeted for extermination. So when I get to Chicago, what I'm going to talk about is the 7 steps towards death that we're all experiencing. And you can look up the 7 phases of death. It starts with loss of breath, cardiac arrest, pallor mortis, liver mortis, alga mortis, rigor mortis, which we're all familiar with, and then decomposition. We are all dealing with those stages right now. Loss of breath, bronchitis, asthma, cardiac arrest. Who got more high blood pressure on the planet than we do? That's what we're dealing with, right? Pallor mortis, that's the visible blueness, all right? When you have that blueness coming through your skin, that means that you are full of positive ions, what they call them free radicals, to take you away from the fact that your body is electric, all right? Liver mortis, again, you're losing that vitality. Alga mortis, you're losing the magnetics that helps your body to maintain a charge throughout the body. Now, what would that be called in terms of the illness? Anemia, right? Who's dealing with that anemia? We are. All right? So we're already dealing with these steps. Rigor mortis, we all heard of that. What is that? Calcification of the muscles, stiffness, right? Arthritis, gout. Oh, I can't work out because it hurts. Right, that's because you need to loosen that body up. How does that happen? Once we stop getting oxygen into the tissues, right, which is called hypoxia, where your tissues and organs no longer get the oxygen to them, it can't produce ATP, right? We all have a magnesium deficiency. That's why I have what's called magnet here. If we don't have magnesium in the body in a certain specific type of isotope, because it's only one that's bioavailable for your body, the ATP that your body produces cannot be used and uptake by the muscle cells. All right? So it's not even ATP that your body uses for energy. It's actually mag ATP, because it's magnesium that escorts that ATP into the muscle cell to be used. All right? When that doesn't happen, when the oxygen, when cellular respiration doesn't happen, calcification happens. That's called rigor mortis. Decomposition, I shouldn't have to tell y'all what the parasites are doing because we loaded up on the things that produce parasites in our body and feed off of us from the inside out. And that's all autoimmune diseases, is you get eaten from the inside out. All right, so we're all already walking through these very 7 stages of death, and we don't even know it. All right, so in the Bible it tells you, be in this world but not of it. In the Egyptian hieroglyphs, in the coffin text, it tells you, do not eat feces. Do not walk with the dead. Do not participate with these folks. They don't have the body like you do. There's only one thing in this universe that gives life, and that's the sun. We're following after people that are physically incapable of absorbing life. When you're born, you're supposed to grow. We're supposed to continue growing. Okay? We're supposed to continue growing in every type of way. Your hair even supposed to continue growing. That's why in Egypt, they took so much care to wrap the bodies, because inside those bodies was DNA locked inside that has information in there for you to tap into. All right? We cannot follow these people that are locked outside the paradigm of life. It will lock you outside the paradigm of life.
That was 2 minutes. That's a good 2 minutes. Time!
2 more hours to go.
Go ahead, sis. This is the last one for real this time.
For real.
We gotta go to Columbus. We gotta
I
go to
definitely want
Columbus.
to say thank you to everybody that's up here. Like, you know, I guess you got to be on a road to really kind of catch what you guys are really trying to say. Like, you had to really been going somewhere or looking for something to actually to benefit. But everybody's gonna still benefit. But it's really a blessing. You guys are really like angels in human bodies, because you know it's, oh my God, it's real, and we don't really know it because we around a lot of dead things. It's real. I mean, we play with the dead, we rub the dead, we pet with it, and we even kiss on it like it's just real. And I just thank God for you guys. You don't even know. It's like it's a baby, and we get to see this little baby get to walk and get to talk, and it's about to do something, and it's just amazing, you know. And I listen to Dr. Sabi, and he's awesome.
That's right.
He speaks about mucus, and he has tapes about just eating right and not letting people just give you what they want. Identify it, understand it, research it, you know. And like the young lady up there was, and the other lady, and you also was talking about fibroids. And I just got tired of the doctor cutting on me, because I've been through 7 surgeries with a breast mutation in my gene. It's hereditary. My mother, my sisters, everybody has breast cancer. So, I mean, and when I told my mother, she's like, I'm not going to the doctor with you. I'm like, I need you to support me. Come to the doctor with me. You had it, you've been through it, you had one of your breasts removed, so you should be able to just come to the doctor. I'm not going, I don't have to go. But like you was saying, that I got to the point where it's about the money. That's 7.
They gotta go to Columbus tonight.
Go ahead, sis.
Okay, so
No, you good. I know he getting excited.
It's 2 hours away.
but I think when I found out that he was supposed to do the surgery on my fibroids, I was just like, you're not about to cut on me again. You're not about to. 7 surgeries, you know, to find out, because they wasn't even gonna allow my son. They told me my son wasn't gonna make it. I was on high risk. He's not gonna make it. And my son is, yesterday, I told him, okay, baby, he's 4 years old. I said, say your grace. He said, okay, Mom. God, thank you for this, what did he say?
Processed food.
Yeah, he said, God, thank you for this processed food. In Jesus' name, amen. And it was just like, what did he just say? Like, he just came out of nowhere and just said it. I was just like, that's not processed food. And it was turkey dogs, because I haven't eaten pork in 16 years, and I haven't eaten beef in like 14 and a half. But I was like, then I had to think about it. I was like, hold on. It is processed food. Like you're like 4 years old. Like, but he's a sponge, and he just So just to have you guys here and it's to help us, and we don't even realize it unless we take advantage of it. It's just words in the book unless we pick it up and utilize it. And regardless if we take these pills or not, it's like you said, it can come back. It's the mentality. You are what you think about. As a man thinketh, so is he. And everything that Jesus died on that cross, it was everything. He died for all the bad stuff on the cross, and it makes us feel like, well, why we gotta go to the doctor and take these pills and go do this? And he died for everything, and everything we need is right here. So I just thank you. And one last quick question. That was a comment, but my question is, how do I get my son? Because I don't eat pork or beef, but you guys are definitely on the golden level. How do I get my son? I mean, I think he's pretty willing, but I just, he's 4 years old. So how would I get him to start, eating without meat?
Well, let me say
Surround
this.
yourself with his 3 children. Yes.
Right. 'Cause I was gonna say I got 8 children.
Introduce yourself to them because they live in your community. Yeah.
Right, and all of my children did the fruit fast. I have my daughter here, 14. She lectures with me. We did a lecture in D.C. We did a 2-day workshop at a children's camp, ages 7 years old to 17 years old, and she did the majority of the speaking there. She spoke for about 2 hours. And with the young children, it's actually easier the younger they are because you can lie to them. All right, sometimes we put too much stock in honesty, right? We want to be honest at the wrong times. I tell, my son asks me for chicken nuggets, I go ahead and give him the vegan version. He don't know. I don't say, oh, this is the vegan version. This is just chicken nuggets.
So school and all that, so I'm definitely going to talk him down.
Right, well, yeah, definitely, but even with the school, bag lunch. And then I just wanted to say one thing about the genes, because I think you were referring to the BRCA1 and G. Those genes, first of all, for breast cancer, only 25% of the women that actually carry those genes express any form of breast cancer. So it's about controlling the environment that the genes, that determines whether the genes are turned on or turned off. And that really comes down to nutrition. All right? I got 13 tattoos. I see you got tattoos. That's a problem.
Huh?
Tattoos is a slow poison dripping into our bloodstream.
These tattoos are old.
Mine are too. But what I'm saying is these are the things that we got to contend with.
Really?
All our life, right? See? It's like, really? Yeah, those are the things we got to deal with. That's why I said I got 13 of them first. So I'm not just putting you on the spot. This is just something that, so it's a growth. Health is really a path that we just keep walking towards. It's something we always have to be aware of and deal with. But with the children, just tell them suckers anything, whatever they ask for, give them the same thing in the vegan form and stick them with it. That's it. You want, boom, that's what you're eating. If not, you're hungry. All my children did the 40-day fruit fast from 2 years old up to 22, right? And look, Tony, I said I wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to do it. My second oldest child, she's 21. She just was in the hospital. She's sick right now. And all she took after coming off the fruit fast was 1 bite of what she thought was a turkey sausage. It wasn't a turkey sausage. It was either beef or pork. That was enough to put her in the hospital for 2 days. Wow. Because once you clean your body, it's no longer going to accept those different things in your body. That's just how Flojo got killed. And we all know Flojo. She was a black woman that's excellent physical specimen. She had a slice of pizza. That slice of pizza set off an inflammation cascade of white blood cells roaming through her body, going crazy. They released super high amounts of histamine. She went to the hospital. The doctor said, oh yeah, take this Benadryl, antihistamine. The antihistamine made the white blood cells even angrier, and she was dead in a matter of hours.
Can't make the old one.
Right.
Okay. I want to thank you again, Cleveland, for coming out and watching the movie. Don't forget to visit urbankryptonitefilms.com if you want to get pre-orders. You can save $5. Also find us on Facebook, Urban Kryptonite Films. And don't forget to patronize Tahuti, the funny guy who was passing the movie. and also Minister Inky. Also, real quick, if we could get about 4 to 5 people just to do 30-second spiels on what they felt about the movie. Was it helpful? Just like 4 to 5 people, 30 seconds on the iPhone, where you guys can, because we got to grow this. This is how we got to grow it. We're going to 20 different cities, so we need a little help just to grow it. Don't forget on Twitter and Facebook, pound Urban Kryptonite to help us. Hashtag.
All right. So I'll give a hand. Francis, if you want to make that announcement real quick.
While she's coming, I want to thank Brother Lynn Happy. Y'all give it up for him, Tony. He always welcomes us with open arms. Always. I want to thank Professor Williams here at Cleveland State. And most importantly, give yourselves a black round of applause. Without y'all, we're just showing this round to ourselves. So thanks, Cleveland, for always supporting us. We love y'all.
Real quick, the African American Museum, we're going to the Detroit African American World Festival, August 16th, Saturday. And if you're interested, the tickets are $50. It's round trip to Detroit and back. We leave from the Shaker Heights parking lot across from the Shaker Heights Police Department. Leave at 9 in the morning and come back at 7 in the evening. So I have tickets if anyone's interested, or I can give you my number if you want to call me later. Thank you.
Cool again. And also, tomorrow, 7 o'clock, 6 or 7 o'clock, I'm going to Thompson Dragway out there in Thompson, Ohio, I guess, to see Jim Brewer, 80 years old, run the track, do a wheel stander, the only African-American wheel stander in the country. He's racing, 80 years old. So tickets are $10. You want to go? I'm going out there. They say you can go bring a little food and have an outing. So we'll see Brother Brewer make history again at 80 years old. Yeah, I'm gonna try to roll out there, man. This is my 35-minute drive. I got my tickets already. Yeah. We're gonna show your wife over. We can come out there and support some brothers in drag racing too. Making his 80 years old, still doing this thing.
What do you name it?
What's his daughter's name? I don't know. It's only one day. Well, does she have? Is she holding?
Have you got my 2 tapes? She didn't realize.
No, that's okay. I'm just waiting for the phone to charge up so I can start getting everybody's card. Yeah, that's all right. For the Q&A.
Right.
Well, here.
You still need. Well, he's waiting for the phone to charge up so you can swipe it. That's how they do it now.
Once it's charged up, then he can do
well,
that.
then you'll be able to do it.
No, he still has to do it, but it still has to charge up. So just sit here patiently, and it'll work.
Well, here, I'll give it to you anyway.
Don't be impatient. Wait. The other people.
I'm already here to get it. Oh, here it is. Hi, come around. I can't see. Guys, how you doing? Good to see you. Oh, yes, yes. Really sweet.
He's firing up. He's got it.
What is your name?
10 years. So I finally did it. I said to myself, okay, Chuck, just
I want you to give this to your dad.
Oh, I'm gonna get it right. I'm gonna get it right from you right now.
But I kind of fell off the wagon. I only have one spot. Thank you. Where is it? My girlfriend leaves me all day.
Oh, you guys gotta go. Okay, I'm sorry.
she's right behind you. She gets the water.
She's right behind you.
What's up, old man? You in the way.
Ask
6 months. I am gone. 6 months.
Okay.
That's all it's gonna take.
Okay.
Same work up you get.
So you just getting the 2 DVDs, or is there any herbs or anything else?
Herbs, anything else you want to?
The main reason I wanted one DVD is because this person has a mushroom farm right